All right, our next guest has a lengthy introduction. Harry was born in Fairbanks, Alaska, and has lived all throughout Alaska. He joined Madden Real Estate in 2010 after being previously licensed in Anchorage with Martinson Real Estate when living there during the early 90s, as well as Jack White Real Estate in Anchorage in 2016. Formerly an associate broker licensed in Alaska and a luxury team leader at Keller Williams Cabo Paradise in Los Cabos, Mexico. Harry is currently licensed as a broker in Baja California Sur with Mijangos Real Estate. You're going to correct me that, I'm sure. He has enjoyed beautiful Baja style living for over 40 years after his first trip in 1974 with his family and loved ones, and he loves the culture. Harry enjoys both Baja living, easy lifestyle, and visiting his children, plus his family in Anchorage in the summertime. Please join me if I can find him. Where'd you go? I lost my tab. Please join me in welcoming, if I can find, because I minimized the wrong tab. Oh, there it is. I found it. There he is. Harry, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
I can't hear you over the waves and the margaritas, man.
Oh, I'll see if I can get them to shut down the blender for a few minutes. And I don't know what I can do about the waves, but those are the things we must live with
Yeah,
when you're stuck here in paradise.
it's the cross that you will bear, I suppose, right?
It is. It is. I'm
All
going to
right.
have to
So
take one for the team there.
take one for the team. So, Harry, we've been in communication over the last couple of months, and I know there's a lot of things happening in your world. One of the things that we wanted to do to bring to our watchers, listeners, is kind of the idea of owning some property that not only they can visit but also use as a investment. So, is it possible for somebody from Seattle to own property in Mexico?
Yes, actually, the big misnomer is that you can't own property in Mexico, and that's absolutely false. You actually can own property fee simple. Most areas in Mexico, there is a limited protected area, which is approximately 100 kilometers or 60 miles from the borders, the United States and southern border. And then there's a 50 kilometer or about 30-mile buffer zone around the beaches wherever there is water. So if you wanted to own a condo in Mexico City, you could own it fee simple, much like you would in the United States or Lake Chapala or any of these other areas that are not literally on the coast.
Okay, so they have to be areas that are away a few miles off the coast then.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
The concern is that at any time the Mexican government can just take your land. Is that true?
That is false. They cannot just take your land. And even if, there are situations that arise where perhaps somebody got sick or was not able to come down, and let's say you didn't pay your taxes on your property, which are quite reasonable here, they're not going to take your property. What they're going to do is they're going to continue to accumulate, the penalties and fees associated, but it's really inconsequential, and you have no risk whatsoever with, somebody, an authority coming in and taking your property.
So it's just like it would be here. If I didn't pay my taxes, I'd be, up to a point where it would get foreclosed on, right? But I mean, it's a long process for somebody, even in the United States, to have their property foreclosed upon. So it sounds like some of the misconceptions. So when somebody comes to invest, there's kind of this stigma and concern. Where are the safe places? I think I might have a screen share of a house that I might be interested in. This $37 million house here. Um,
I'm,
Now this is right
yeah,
on the
more than
beach.
happy to help you with that.
Yeah, happy to help. Yep. Okay. This is right on the beach. So how can you own this property if it's on the beach?
Well, that actually falls in that restricted zone. Article 27 of the Mexican Constitution prohibits exterranos or foreigners from owning property on the beach. So you have to be a Mexican citizen to be able to own property in what is called an escritura. If you wanted to buy that particular property, then what we would do is set you up with what is called a fideicomiso. And a fideicomiso is a land trust. So there is a bank that actually manages the property, the associated governmental registrations, etc. And you have the full rights of ownership where you can do whatever it is that you'd like to do with that property, upgrade it, modify it, sell it. Everything is basically done the same way that you would be used to in the United States. It's just held in a different kind of format, and that's kind of what throws people off. But it's really not that different or unusual.
Okay, so even though you can't own land on the beach, you can, in a way, have the ownership rights of a property on the beach by running it through a certain way.
Yes, and you can actually own it if you get Mexican citizenship or if you form a corporation. Let's say that you decided you wanted to invest in Airbnb money machines and
Mhm.
you start buying condos or something like that. If you form a corporation, the corporation can own those properties fee simple.
Excellent. Okay, so that actually brings me to one of the big things, right? The Airbnb. You bring that up. So, have you helped anybody buy something like that? What's the process look like? And I think I have a screen spreadsheet. Let me see if I can share that while you're walking me through it. Somebody says, "Hey, I want to buy a property that I can go ahead and rent out as it'll be my second property, but it's actually an investment." Kind of tell me how that works.
Well, it actually works very simply. You register yourself as an individual or a corporation so that there's a tax entity. And what you're looking at here is a flow chart of the process for actually procuring a property here in Mexico. I've tried to simplify it as much as possible so that people understand it. And also make it so that it's comprehensible to individuals who have purchased properties in the United States or Canada.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And
looking at it just right now, I mean, this looks like the same process that I use. You sign your purchase, you got earnest money. We got to provide some, information on that. But how long does this process take? I mean, yeah, I could cover up the part where it says 60 to 90 days, but
oh, well, yeah, and it normally takes around 60 to 90 days to be able to purchase a property here. If you are going to put the property in that corporation or if you are a Mexican national, then of course it can take as little as 30 days to get the documentation prepared and submitted. And then basically what happens is you prepare an offer, you do a home inspection, you make sure everything is good. You do the initial wire transfer, determine how the title is going to be held, and then it goes through a process of basic registration, to transfer the tax ownership and any of the other, if you're going to want title insurance or whatever it is that the way that you're going to manifest the property, and then that goes to a closing attorney, transaction coordinator, who coordinates all that with a notary. And notaries in Mexico operate a little bit differently than the way they're done in the United States. Notaries in Mexico are more like a magistrate with a court, and they have specialized additional training as attorneys to be able to file and submit the documentation necessary for the property transfer to the court's federal registration.
all right. So this is kind of planning something for the future. But if somebody was serious about buying a property, either for themselves or as an investment, do you recommend that they bring their realtor, Dan, to come down there with them to meet you and preview the properties? Do you recommend that, Harry?
Oh, well, of course, if they're to bring their realtor Dan down, of course I would recommend that. But a lot of things can be handled with a Zoom call and some basic, simple explanation about what means what. And realistically, having been an associate broker in Alaska and having my broker's license here, what I do is I translate. I make sure that Dan understands exactly what the process is going to be and how it compares to what you've experienced and the way that you do business in the United States. So it helps make people more comfortable with that decision making process and execution of participation in a purchase of either an investment, retirement home, or just a place to let down your hair.
Okay, very good. So price ranges, what are we looking at? If somebody wanted to get their foot in the door, can they do it as low as, and then obviously we saw 40 million. So
Right. Well, that's the thing. There is, price points for all tastes. Some of the happiest clients I have were, were looking at properties that were, in the 100 to 150,000 range. The median price point here is about 315,000, and for that, you can get a beautiful 2 or 3 bedroom condo either close to the beach or overlooking the beach. Beachfront is going to be around 600. And then Cabo actually has more $2 million plus properties that are for sale than anywhere else on the planet right now.
awesome. Well, we could probably go over this like quite a bit. There's a ton of stuff to talk about, but the best thing to do is for them to reach out to you. I was going to share the relocation guide that you had. Where is that? Here we go. That is this where I would send people to get the oh, I lost it. Share screen. The relocation guide here. AMP
AMP
Los.
Los Cabos is
Uh-huh.
the National Association of Realtors here. I'm on the board of directors, and I helped create this relocation guide as a source for people to have information about places to go, things to do, who to do business with. And anybody that's looking to gather information about properties here in Los Cabos can find it at cuincabo.com. Or if you'd like to contact me directly, you can reach me at my website or my email, which is caboagent@gmail.com.
Perfect. Well, Harry, again, this is a lot of fun, and I've been meaning to get you on for a while, and I think that this is a great service. Obviously, there's a lot of people thinking about pulling some of their money out of their stock market, investing it in real estate, and what a great way to do it, to have a place that you can go and enjoy, and a place that can also be cash flow property. So thanks for coming on, Harry. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Dan, and I hope that the information will be found useful by many people. And like I said, if you have any questions whatsoever, you can look at the website, cuincabo.com, or reach out to caboagent@gmail.com, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. Thanks, Harry.